Wonderful.
So folks on Instagram and Facebook, I think even if you're not able to see the screen, I think you'll be only listening to what we're talking, but then maybe also share across the YouTube link so you could maybe go through the video one more time with the presentation.
Wonderful. So we'll get started. So let me know once you guys can see my screen. Can we see a thumbs up once you guys can see our screen? Wonderful. So good evening. So as you know, this is probably a very, you can say, a subject which can go off in any way. So you can say this is a great term to start with because it gets a lot of likes when you market this word, because as you know, Google works on keywords. So the best diet, right? So everybody can call something as the best. So let's see what is really the best now. So the agenda for this is obvious: the best diet for weight loss, weight gain, weight maintenance, or if you want to eat as much as possible, whichever, whatever you call it. So the whole premise of having this particular topic is this is a hot topic which all of us love to hear about. So this has been our journey. So when we got started, so as I told you, my name is Prashant. As you can see here, I am an IT professional. So as an IT professional, you understand it is almost like an iceberg, right? So 90% of the work happens below the surface and 10% happens above the surface, which means that 90% of the time, apart from my head down, I am just seated in one place. And rest of the time, there's nothing else happening. So that is why you can see the picture right here where I have actually put on this weight. So when I was around 2009, when I started my career, right? So I was not like this. So as you can see here, this pic was well in 2016, myself as well as Sharanya. If you're overweight, see, one thing you will realize is you don't step onto the scale. I dare you, because most of the people don't have the guts to step onto the scale. And most of us, if you step onto the scale, you don't talk about it to other people. There are very few people who are very modest about it. I was not one of them. And so the biggest challenge with respect to a fat loss program or anything is you don't ask somebody what it is. It is almost like asking for a girl. You don't directly ask for a girl, right? There is a very dicey way of getting into it. And fortunately or unfortunately, we got exposed to it. And here we are. As you can see, this is a pic which was taken a couple of days back on Janmashtami. And it is a wonderful journey, I can say. And you can say journey never ends. The journey goes on. And this is where we talk about embracing lifestyle changes in terms of implementing how we can be healthy, which we are going to talk about, right? So basically, as you might be knowing, the theory of relativity, as Einstein talks about, right? So when somebody is very, very fat, as you can see here, the first picture looks very skinny, right? And somebody who's medium looks basically, the fat person actually looks medium, and the very obese person actually looks fat, right? So unfortunately, that is not the reality. So the reality of the issue is, as you can see, normalize what is fat, what is not fat, is as mentioned here. So basically, it is as simple as this. So you have to make sure that you are actually not in this category, because the most important aspect of any area of life, unless you know the truth, you will not be able to know the starting point. So if you take a Google Maps, if you want to navigate and reach a particular location, the most important things are two things. You need to have a starting point and you need to have an ending point. How you navigate through Google Maps will take care, because if you take a detour, you will know. But if you kid yourself saying that you're skinny, or if you're medium, or if you're fat, that is where the biggest hypocrisy is. And see, the most important aspect about well-being. So when we talk about well-being, it is not just about eating and looking a particular way or looking like a particular actress, because everybody comes from a different era. Or for some people, as they say, right, there is a wonderful saying which they say, in your 20s, probably you want to conquer the world. That is well-being, right? So when you're 40s, you want to conquer the house. You want to be the man of the house, right? And by the time you're 60s and 70s, you feel that the biggest achievement is going from the bed to the bathroom, right? So whichever area of life you are. So the whole aspect is you have to have control of where you are, right? And if you see holistically, it contributes into 5 factors. It is not just about what you eat. And the most important factor is what eats you, right? So what eats you is not just diet, but it is your mindset, your activity, your sleep, your stress. If you take a mindset, so we are not going to talk about every individual aspect. Today's topic is absolutely into diet, so we're not going to delve deep into this. But I hope you understand that anything which cannot be measured cannot be tracked, right? Or vice versa. Whichever way you put it, anything which cannot be tracked cannot be measured, right? So the biggest challenge is most of us, the most common questions which people ask me is, Prashant, see, I'm having a very busy life at office. Can you tell me a way where I can just intuitively eat something where I don't have to worry about what happens, whether I will gain weight or whether I lose weight or what it is. So just tell me something where I can just eat every day. I don't have to worry about what is going to happen. Unfortunately, I wish I can give you something, a cookie cutter approach where everything works for somebody and everybody, right? Unfortunately, there is nothing like that because it works as a whole, right? As you can see, if anything is missing, the whole thing is missing, right? So when we talk only about diet, the only way you can balance, or if you take the spokes on a wheel, right? So each spokes contributes to the strength of the wheel. So if one of the spoke is weak, the most important aspect is you need to strengthen the other spokes, right? So today we are going to talk about strengthening the diet spoke so that you will have enough time and enough energy to correct the bandwidth in terms of the mindset, in terms of activity, in terms of sleep, in terms of stress. So whichever is actually causing you the pain point. The pain point can be anything, right? So for example, you might be stressed out, you might be eating perfectly well, but you might not be seeing any difference in terms of how you feel or how you have energy, or basically in terms of your overall performance, right? So let's talk about the diet aspect today. And if you see, the biggest challenge most of the people, as I said, they ask is, can I eat something which is very tasty? All this diet, halagula is good, but can I have that chola puri today? Can I have that, you can say, the chaat? Or can I say, today is Janmashtami, today my parents have made very good sweets, can I eat sweets today? Or they say that, so all this is good, but when can I eat normally, right? So now,
Should I eat like this for a lifetime?
exactly. So now the word normal has got a new meaning right now because all of you are under the lockdown, I believe, whichever part of the country you're connecting from or whenever you're seeing this, there's a new normal, right? So similarly, with respect to diet, there is a new normal which you have to understand exists, right? So what is actually normal for you is what got you to the abnormals. So which means you have to redefine what is normal as per understanding a proper nutrition plan. And so some of the fads which are floating around in the market. So one of the biggest fads which are floating around is now if you see people are talking about clean eating, right? You have to eat sattvic food, you have to eat healthy foods, and you have to eat like homemade food. You have to eat something which is organic. So these are all gimmicks.
Eat mindfully, eat local delicacies, eat to your awareness, be very conscious when you're eating, eat half the plate, eat half tummy. There are a lot of things which we are exposed to, which we would have tried at some point in time as well.
But see, the biggest fad in this is nobody talks about uh, where is the catch here? Because most of the people think that they are eating normally. So let me show you to understand what is normal. So if you can see here, what
both
do you know?
Are actually
both are eating clean, right? Say for example, let's assume on Monday a person eats this. Let's say what is there on the left. On Tuesday,
celery, capsicum,
capsicum and hummus. And the second side, it is a little bit of badam and a little bit of fruits,
some peanut butter,
etc.
Obviously,
right?
peanut has good proteins and fats.
It has very good proteins and fats. So basically, if you see, is there any difference between the two? As you can see here, there is a huge difference. Somebody who thinks he's eating very clean is actually eating almost 5 times more than what actually the left side is, right? So what looks beyond the eye is something which is where you will have to delve deep into, right? So a lot of people don't look into the details of it. Let's understand. Most of you connecting here, I presume you know what is a calorie, but nevertheless, we will talk about a little more elaborately what it is. See, one of the things what again a lot of people see is I've tried a lot of diets.
And whenever you try something, you always get stuck at some point. For example, maybe you were weighing 65 kgs and your goal is 55, but you got to 60, but then you're stuck at 60, and whatever you do, your body doesn't, the scale doesn't move lesser than 60. So, you're kind of stuck. And then what is the advice that you get? Or what is the information that you read online? When you're in a plateau, go on a detox. So there are a lot of detox drinks, detox pills, detox programs which you can do. I'm very sorry to break your bubble, but actually your body does detox by itself every single day. When you go to sleep, Obviously your body does detox. There are organs in your body like the liver and the gut and your kidneys and your spleen, multiple different organs that are working to detox your body every single day. And which means instead of looking for a detox pill or a detox shake or a detox day or detox programs, what you could instead do is give your body the right amount of the correct vegetables, the quantified vegetables and fruits that it requires, so it can do the process of detox by itself. So you don't have to be sold out on detox diets, because your body is already doing it whether you like it or not. So might as well, this is one of the reasons that you should include your raw vegetables, raw salads and different colors of
Everybody knows this.
fruits and
So
vegetables.
all the sayings hold good. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. All these things are good, but the only question is, are we really eating apple a day? Right. So when we want to go to a doctor, eating an apple doesn't help. So you need to eat an apple before you think about even a doctor. Right. So let's move on. So
And in fact, the latest trend that is very, very popular right now is, how you need to take care of your gut. So, I think every now and then you are reading articles about, what is important for the gut, what are you supposed to eat, and, what are the things which you need to include so that your gut is healthy and then you are healthy. This is again a passing fad, because it's more important to eat right on a daily basis than get stuck to trends which are just going on and off, with the season.
absolutely. So the
One
most
more pattern of eating is restrictive eating, where maybe you have a blanket ban on carbohydrates. You either do not touch carbohydrates, and some people even claim that if I look at rice, I gain weight.
some
I don't
people
even have to eat rice. I just have to smell the aroma of food prepared in my house, and I gain weight.
Some
And
people actually go for karate. Some people do karate with their food. So as you can see here, so you just show this no sugar, and then you say, if you show me this, I will punch you on your face. So those are the kind of gimmicks which people play when some food is served. So when people go for a party, so instead of accepting the food, they go with a napkin saying that no, I cannot eat this, and they have a small slip and they start eating it. So no gulab jamuns, no chocolates, no pastries, nothing. But unfortunately, that is not how life works, right? Because in between all these things, there is something called life, right? So we want to actually talk about life. We don't want to talk about how we can actually not eat nothing and still get to our goal. Because what is the point of living if you're dying every single moment, right?
in fact, whenever you are getting onto a restrictive program or any kind of fitness program that you're getting into, if somebody tells you to skip any particular type of foods for a particular period of time, or fats, oily stuff, or sugar, sweets, whatever foods, chocolates or ice creams, whatever it is, understand that it cannot be a permanent lifestyle change. Because and if it is not a permanent lifestyle change, you might as well stay away from it, because whatever you are losing, you will gain the weight
Absolutely.
back.
So the biggest challenge in terms of this is you have to question everything. So before you take up any program, the most important fundamental right as a person who is going to take any program is question. So when somebody says you better follow what I eat or don't come to me, then you have to be very careful before going to that person. You have to question everything, and the person should have a convincing answer in terms of why you should do something. Correct? So
In fact, this is a very interesting thing. I'd like to just cover upon this. Every single program that you try to lose weight, and every single tip that you try when you want to lose weight or when you want to gain weight, you'll be able to see that you'll see results right away. Within a month of sticking to a program, any program, you'll be able to see that you are able to see results. And that is bound to happen because of these reasons. Obviously, you are more aware, you're following a program, so you start seeing results. And every time the first few kgs that you lose is mostly water mass and glycogen, which you lose from your body. So it's usually very, very fast. And obviously, and the way we gain weight also is that, maybe, we never gain weight over a period of 1 month or 2 months, but it happens gradually over a period of years. And I'll just, probably shared what I mean as well. Maybe you started at 60 kgs.
Just visualize this.
And
okay, so that you will be able to relate with this, because otherwise it's all numbers.
We have a lot of festivals happening in India, right? We have a lot of religions. We shift from one location to another very frequently. So, in fact, even in our house, we celebrate all of the festivals all year long. Even if we don't celebrate Christmas because of religion, we still keep a Christmas tree at home and we still bake a plum cake because you'll have to celebrate. So there are a lot of occasions that keep happening all through the year. And you were 60, and then the plum cake happened, and some ice cream happened along with it, and you became 65, or maybe some kgs that you gained over the holidays, the holiday weight. You gained it, and then you became conscious about it because New Year comes and you'll have to take a resolution, and then you do something about your fitness, and then you come back to maybe being 63 or 62. And then what happens is that one of your friends or your relatives is getting married. So not even getting married. Maybe after New Year we have some more festivals that keeps coming. So you have a local delicacy for every different function, and then you again start gaining weight, and then after a point you realize you're already 70, and then your best friend is getting married. So for the wedding you also need to look good, and then you also need to lose weight. So you get onto some detox, you do some things, you work out a lot. You spend a lot of hours in the gym. You're very conscious. You're drinking water. Doing a lot of things, and then you see some results. And then the wedding happens, and then obviously with the wedding there's a lot of food. Hello. So again, you gain weight, and then again you're going up. And this time you go past 70, and then you go to 75, 76 because your awareness has diminished a little bit. And this keeps going on and on. And it's not that we don't try to get back to the weight which we were before the holiday season or the event.
In fact, if I come to your house and look at Google, most of the searches will be about quick tips on losing belly fat. That is the highest searched link, and probably how to lose fat along my arms. So those are the things most of the people start looking at, or how can I look thin in saris, or how to take photos so that I don't appear fat. So these are the common searches which people go through.
So the same curve which happens for weight, gradual weight gain happens to people who are underweight as well, and their struggle is even more bigger because when people are underweight, they think that they have to just eat their way to gain weight, and then they literally struggle to gain weight. They eat a lot of food and then they gain weight, but then the minute they stop focusing on food, they lose all the weight and some more. So again, it's the struggle of the other end of the spectrum. But this is something which keeps happening again and again. Every program works, but nothing clicks and nothing is permanent. And obviously,
so this is my example. So whatever I talked about is something which I have been through. Okay, so in 2006, this is how I was. In 2008, I did something. I lost weight. In 2009, I reached around 75. As you can see, in 2006, I was around 95, 96. 2008, I reached around 83. And 2009, I was around 75 kgs, right? So, right, that is when, after the work life happened, I reached to 2016. You know the reason, because that is why we showed the previous slide. And 2017 is when I got a realization that we need to do something. 2016 end from 2017. This is when I had started losing weight. So this was 5 kg down from 2016 to 17. And 2019 is, I reached my ideal goal in 2017 mid. So probably 2019, I've been maintaining ever since then. I've been keeping the same, or probably being up and down plus or minus 2. I have bulked up to put on some muscle. So as you can see here, until
our story hasn't been very different. This is what is my story as well. Just that we didn't have a collated picture of myself, across these timelines. But most definitely, this is something which happens to a lot of us. And between both of us, we've tried a lot of different things to lose weight, but we never found something which is sustainable. So today, we're just going to share ahead on, things which can be sustainable and what exactly you need to do, and some of the basics which you'll have to understand so that, you need not do the mistakes which we have done in the last couple of years.
So in fact, most of you see, there are some people with various age backgrounds. See, there are people who are in their teenage who are connecting here. There are people who are probably 40 plus, 50, 60, different age groups who are connecting through this call, right? So what we want to understand is, basically, you will be diagnosed with probably having some kind of a cholesterol problem. You're having some kind of joint pain. Probably you're having certain cancers, or probably you're having some gout. which is a very common thing nowadays, right? PCOD, it's a very common term. So a lot of people come to us asking that we are trying to conceive and I'm having PCOS problem. If you look at them, they are not fat, but they have this problem, PCOS or PCOD, diabetes. Then you have heart ailments. Some people have gone through angioplasty or not gone through yet because you're not gone for a checkup, just like how somebody has not stood on a weighing machine, right? So you're just one checkup away from getting an angioplasty, right? And if you see the underlying root cause of this is having a high body fat percentage. What does it even mean? If you want to understand what is body fat percentage, the biggest challenge is most of us have no idea what is a body fat percentage, right? And as you can see here,
the left as well as the right image, both the people are of the same height, same weight, and same BMI. But just because their body fat percentage is so different, drastically different, you can see that in their body structure as well. So basically, body fat percentage is nothing but your fat mass divided by your total weight is your body fat percentage.
So for normal people, so what is body composition first? To get you to understand that. So your body is made up of multiple things. Your body is made up of muscle, your body is made up of fat, your body is made up of water, your body is made up of bones, your body is made up of organs, right? So when you say you want to lose weight, do you want to lose your bones? Do you want to lose your water? Do you want to lose your muscles? Do you want to lose your organs?
Never.
So most of us, we are referring to fat, right? So unfortunately, the gimmick in the world is I need some weight loss, right? And when you talk about weight loss, what is the most common thing? The BMI, right? So the BMI is the most common thing where people measure. If I'm within the BMI range, everything is okay. But unfortunately, that is not how rosy it sounds, right? Because getting into BMI is almost like telling, I went to a doctor and spoke about heart surgeries for half an hour. And you feel that your heart is clean, but the doctor has never done a checkup on you, right? So that is exactly how talking about BMI is, right? But when we talk about body composition, it is a ratio of your fat with respect to your total body weight, right? So for example, in this case, the weight might be the same for both the individuals. They might be well within the BMI, but unfortunately, the only problem with respect to body fat percentage is you're not able to rely on actually how to take this body fat percentage or how to take this, because there are so many machines which will give you the weight, BMI, etc. Right? So moving on. So
finally the question comes, how should I eat and what should I eat?
So the thing is, you're talking about all depressing things. So is there any solution for it? Because you're saying this is wrong, that is wrong. Finally, where is the solution? Where does the rubber meet the road?
We look ahead.
We look ahead. So
see, in fact, this is where quantified nutrition can help you. Because all of our requirements are absolutely different. In fact, even for the same person, as you age, your requirements vary. And obviously, based on your health profile, etc., your requirement as well as your goals would vary. So with some amount of professional help, you'll be able to get to where you want. And provided, you also understand the fund of why we are eating what we are eating. There can be a balance between yummy as well as nutrition. So we'll look at it ahead. Before we talk about how you need to eat and what you need to eat, this is something which we'll have to understand. What is energy? So basically, if you can look at the screen, the green bar denotes the calories.
For people who are not able to look up at the screen, just imagine this, right? So there is a law called energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form to the other. Just to summarize what is there. So if you really understand what is energy, so your body requires a certain basic amount of energy to perform, right? And so if you give your body...
the green bar denotes the energy which you get from whatever foods which you are eating, and the red bar denotes whatever energy you are burning when you are being active. And we'll also talk about, what are the different kinds of energy in the body and what you need in the upcoming slides. But then, here what I want to cover is that whenever you are following a very, quantified fitness program, for example, you enroll in a gym, and mostly what happens is that you have trainers in the gym, or any kind of, even if you're doing yoga at home and you're consistently tracking the number of Surya Namaskars that you do, or any kind of activity, you're going for a swimming and you're going for any physical activities outside.
Sometimes you're not able to do any physical activity. For example, let's say you just had a knee surgery, or probably the doctors have put some restrictions, you have had a different kind of an ailment. So for some reason, you're not able to go out. Or for example, now the biggest reason why people are not able to do is, they said Corona is there, so you're not supposed to go out. So most of the people have gained a little more waist size, right? But still 30% of the people in the world have not eaten, but 30% of the people are overweight. So do you see a correlation between the two? So if only we can actually give up 30% of what we are eating extra, the remaining 30% can actually get that food, right? So it is all about maintaining that balance. So if X is the amount of energy which you require, your body requires on a daily basis. If you give X minus whatever, right, your body will lose weight. If you give X plus whatever, the body will gain weight, right? So it is as simple as that. It is simple mathematics. You can argue with anything else, but you cannot argue with mathematics, right?
In fact, what usually happens is that when you're only focusing on exercise without tracking your diet, and when you're only focusing on your diet without tracking on physical fitness, what happens is that you experience a lot of side effects. A lot of times, when women, generally, this is a very common trend with women, we tend to eat much lesser than what our body requires actually. And what we do is that, and then, obviously as a side effect, since you're not eating well, there are a lot of delayed cycles and you miss your cycle, or you have a lot of hormonal issues. You experience a lot of fatigue, you're very tired. Multiple different side effects happen.
For
And
guys,
at the same time, when you're focusing only on exercise or only on the diet, what happens is that you also experience side effects like losing, having a hair fall issue, or having very less energy because you're all the time tired. Even though you're working out, you're very tired through the day. You do not have enough stamina to pass through the other activities that a day requires. And in fact,
let's understand how the energy is split, right? See, for example, a lot of people think if the best way to lose weight is not eating anything, right? But understand that you might not want to eat anything, right? But your body has organs, as we already discussed. It has muscles, it has water, certain few things which it is available in your body. The most important thing is for the body organs to perform optimally. There is something called a basal metabolic rate. So this is the minimum amount of energy which you need to provide every single day to make sure your organs are performing. It is not for you and me to fancifully fast. It's okay to fast. Fasting can be a wonderful thing. There's nothing wrong with fasting if it is planned and if it is done in a proper way. It can be done. But the biggest challenge is most of the people don't know how to fast as well. Right? So BMR is something which is the basic amount of food or the quantity of food which you need to get on a daily basis. Right? So when people say I'm having a surgery, right? So what gets affected is not the BMR. What gets affected, ideally all through your life, your BMR doesn't change much. Right? The BMR is almost the same. Right? So whether you call 1 kg of cotton or 1 kg of iron, the weight is 1 kg. It doesn't matter because one might occupy more space, one might occupy less space. Right? So what changes as you age is your physical activity, which is nothing but your non-exercise activity or whatever. So whatever exercises you perform, you work out, you do yoga, or whatever, you are very active through the day, or you have a physical labor job, whatever you do. So these will contribute to 30% of your results, right? And 10% of it is the thermic effect of food. So a lot of people are not aware of what it is. Thermic effect of food is every food has a different amount of energy which is required to be burnt by your body. For example, if you take, there are 3 primary macronutrients which we will not get into the details because it's beyond the scope of this call. We talk about proteins, carbohydrates, and fat. And out of this, the proteins have the maximum thermic effect of food. Right? So, for example, if you are to eat 100 calories of protein, your body has to burn 25 calories. It has to produce 25 calories of heat to burn that 100 calories of protein, right? Versus fat, which is instantly digested. Almost, it requires less than 1 calorie for it to digest. Similar with carbohydrates, is approximately for every 100 calories, it requires 4 calories to generate. Right? So thermic effect of food plays a huge role. That is the reason why it is very important to observe what you eat, not just how much you eat. Because a lot of people, once we say that you have to track your calories, you become very calorie conscious. Right? A lot of people look at their mobile watch and start weighing everything. But it's not just calorie.
Exactly. So in fact, what you eat and how much you eat has to be derived that based on all of these things, all of these processes that your body is already doing.
So, so how much should I eat?
This is kind of very straightforward, and then this calculation as well as a
So
very good working estimate.
See, for example, I'll give you a very simple example here. So let's take a woman. Okay, so let's assume she's around, let's say, 60 kgs. So a 60 kg woman. So if you calculate if she has to lose weight a little aggressively, so 60 into 18, which is approximately how much is it? Around 1500 calories, 1480 calories is something what 1580 or whatever. So that calorie is what they have to eat. It's a good ballpark estimate for somebody to take down and start applying it immediately. It works. And same way for guys. Say for example, somebody who's 100 kgs who wants to lose weight quickly, he can start with 2200 calories. So he will start seeing results immediately, right? But as we said, it is not just about what you eat, but how what is there in what you eat, right? So that is very important. How much you eat and what you eat both play a role. So this is where this is called the food pyramid. So this credit goes to Eric Helms, so who is the one behind this. So as you can see here, the base of the pyramid is calories. So it doesn't matter what you eat. The most important aspect is how much you eat. I hate to say this, but again, it's about how much you eat. All this question of whether you're eating clean or whether you're eating home food or whether you're eating masala dosa or whether you're eating chola puri or whatever you eat, it is about how much you eat. Unfortunately, that is where we spill the bean here, and that is the truth. After that, the most important aspect to realize is how much of protein you need to have. So if you're a layman, if you want to take one thing back from the seminar, all you need to do is take the previous slide, calculate how much amount of food you need to eat, and then make sure that you're able to get at least 30 grams of protein, 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. That is all you need to do. You don't need to track nothing else. You don't need to track fats. You don't need to track carbohydrates. Nothing else is required. All you need to do is you need to track that 40 grams of protein if you're having a breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
See, in fact, we've totally revealed the trade secret of all successful nutrition.
Every single thing what you will actually pay 20,000, 30,000 to realize, we have talked about it here in very simple terms, right? But let's address the elephant in the room. So before we move ahead and explain a little bit about
this, is a small example.
I'll talk about this elephant in the room, basically, which is snacking, right? So one of the biggest challenges we talk about, I ate only 2,200 calories, but what about the samosa you ate during the snack time? What about the chips you had while going to the restroom, where you opened the fridge and you had something? What about that? Probably that somebody who had a birthday. Sauces, yeah. Somebody who had a birthday party and who just gave a piece of cake. I just had one piece of cake.
A tiny piece of cake.
As you can see here, we saw that how tiny that can make a difference of 75 calories and 350 calories in one of the previous discussions, right? So the most important aspect is everything which goes into you. The only way calories can add up is what goes into your mouth. Unfortunately, we cannot eat food through your nose, through your ears, or any other organ, right? The only way is through this, right? So what goes in has to be tracked. The second thing is how much protein you need to eat has to be tracked. So as you can see, there are various factors.
And just a small example as well, even with respect to protein, if you're a healthy adult, that requires maybe around 120 grams of protein per day. That can be also taken just by having just half kg of paneer every day. In fact, Nilgiri's paneer. So you can most definitely get.
So if you're watching here again, we have told you a secret. So when you want to get enough protein, take this brand Nilgiri's paneer and order. All you need to do is eat half kg a day. You will lose weight every single day, no doubt about it. But unfortunately, first of all, you will start hating food and you will start seeing that you have problems going to the restroom because you're not getting in the fiber,
not the micronutrients,
but you're getting in the fats and protein what is required, which is the most important thing in your diet to make sure that you are healthy, right? But does it work out that easily? So that is where micronutrition, as we talk about here, and people talk about you need to have a very, very heavy breakfast and a moderate lunch and a very light dinner. Right. So all these things, it is like talking about having 100 rupees. How do you want to spend 100 rupees is up to you. Whether you spend 30, 30, 40, or whether you want to spend 100 rupees at one shot, or whether you want to spend 20, 20, 20, 20, 25 times, or you want to gather everything and spend it on the next day. It's up to you. Right. But the most important thing is understand that what causes fat loss is only calories. Right. How the whether fat loss happens or muscle loss happens is dependent on your macronutrients. Then
obviously, when you want to figure out a program which you can follow as a lifestyle change rather than something which you're just temporarily doing as a shortcut, some supplements do come into picture because they're practically convenient. Like we mentioned earlier, instead of eating half a kg of paneer every day and then not having any calories to eat other foods, It's a much and another example would be half kg of chicken or
Not half a kg
20
of chicken.
25
Probably
25
maybe you need to have around 250 grams of soya chunks or 200 grams of soya chunks a
every
day.
single day.
So for people who have been following our quantified nutrition plan, the moment I say 200 grams of soya chunks, you will start vomiting what you ate 10 days back, right? So that is how pathetic it is. And so the biggest challenge is you need to have a balance. Right? You cannot be yin or yang. You have to find a thin line between the two. So that is where supplements, as you can see, is the top of the pyramid, right? It is not the most important thing.
They have only a very small role to play, and that is the reason why they are at the top of the pyramid. The most important is the base of the pyramid, which is calories
and adherence.
Yes.
So we recommend supplements, and we when during our meal plans we recommend supplements from a brand called Nutrilite, right, and another brand called Excess. So the reason why we recommend from this is because we have seen very good results, and this is something which is very predictable.
And the quality is extremely good, so you can be rest assured that there are no side effects.
But you can never, again, coming back to the point that you can never outdo a bad diet with supplements, right? And so if you see here, we have almost come to the end, right? So probably everything is being shared, what needs to be done, everything is there. So there are so many factors here. So we have just talked about on a very high level. So obviously you have to discuss, see, for example, somebody is 70 kg at the age of 20 versus somebody who is 70 kg at the age of 70. It's a very different ball game, because obviously the guy at 20 can do a lot of things which the guy at 70 cannot do, right? And vice versa. So the guy at 70 can do a lot of things. He can be calm and sit in one place, right? But the guy at 20 cannot do that, right? So which means there are so many factors to be considered before you give a meal plan. So this is where you actually have this question. So is this the end of a webinar, or is this the beginning of your fitness journey, right? So you have a choice here. So this is where we have a choice here. Can we choose this information and just absorb it and say that I went for one more seminar on a Saturday weekend, or can we do something about it? So it's up. So if you want to understand the whole essence of following any particular program, the most important thing is having the adherence to it. So as we already said, everything works, but nothing clicks. The reason is because there is no accountability. And the most important part of accountability is you don't have somebody who will be able to track the results for you, right? And so we as Sportlish Life, so currently, since we are offering this as you're part of this webinar, so we will be offering our free one-to-one consult, which will be open for people who nominated themselves for this webinar. Okay, so where we'll be able to help you to have a one-on-one coaching. So basically, this is specifically for the people who are interested in getting to their fitness goals. Basically, somebody who wants to achieve their fitness goals. Primarily, the kind of people whom we work with is very, very busy professionals who don't have time. For example, let's say now with the lockdown, most of the people hardly have time to get out of the bed. They log in from the bed, eat from the bed, sleep on the bed, and again log in from the bed. So that is how their life is, right? So somebody like that, or somebody who's actually, you can say, a traveling professional, in spite of Corona or other things, they don't have, we can talk about quantified thing only when your location is fixed. But if I'm going to travel 20 days in a month, there's no way I can track my food. We help these kind of professionals. So for somebody who's old, for example, or somebody who is very young, or somebody who's gone through an ailment, for somebody says, say, my doctor has told I should not eat this because of this particular condition, or somebody has said that I have this kind of problem, or I am having thyroid, or whatever it is, whatever your restriction would be, we have this particular thing. So what we do is we have a 30 to 45 minute chat with you to understand how we can help you. And mind you, this is not to have a chit chat. So make sure you sign up for this only if you are very serious about hitting your fitness goals. This is not to have a chat, or this is not just to share or
casual interaction.
Definitely, we can have casual interactions in the future. We are going to open up forums for it, but this is for a paid coaching program which we have to offer on a daily basis. As you can see, this is our tribe here. So we the Sportlish Life, offer a personalized coaching program, as you can see here. So people who are with us, we help you to be a part of this group. We help you to track diets, and these are all some snippets from our groups where people were able to achieve how we track the fitness goals with people. Everything is here, and now here is where the choice comes, right? So your life is already good. You're already doing something. You already read about it, so you can spend a little more time. You can spend a little more energy. You can spend a little more effort on reading about it, or you can take this time to actually take the help of somebody who's qualified or who has actually taken the time to try out all these things so that you can minimize the time. Because life is always a certain amount of energy and time. So time is moving on for all of us, right? So what we can control is our energy. right? So if we can control our energy, what somebody can do in 10 years, you can do it in less than a year. So it took us 10 years to understand all these things, right? And we offer this from the outside in very, very simplistic way. What if we were getting started in the beginning? How would we give this information to somebody? That is what we have. So that's
I think we'll just disconnect from the live on Facebook and
so
Instagram. We are having a special.
We are having a special hangout with people. People on Zoom do stay connected. So let's make sure that we have a special offer here. So if you are connected on Zoom, do hangouts. Please just log out from our Facebook and wonderful.
We will have a question answer session, interactive session right now. So whoever